Here in southern Turkey, workers are clearing the wreckage of what was once someone's home. Onlookers wait for any word about their missing relatives. Sadly, this site is past the point of search and rescue. It's a recovery operation, the grim work of retrieving the dead. Turkey's death toll from 3 powerful earthquakes has reached more than 40,000. That figure is expected to rise. Cemeteries have been overwhelmed in the days and weeks following the initial disaster.
A body can't wait too long to be buried. If a family doesn't appear, or sometimes the entire family died, and there's nobody to take the body, we become one's family.
As rescue efforts end in many areas, more attention is turning to the deceased. Volunteers carefully catalog bodies, noting where they were found, their age, and gender. Forensic investigators will use the data in cases where a victim's identity is unclear.
Some of the people we receive are unidentified, especially refugees from Syria. Often it's impossible to identify their bodies.
Disaster victim identification, or DVI, is a critical stage of the emergency response. Turkey has its own DVI response system. In cases when a country needs assistance, it turns to the global standard setter, the international policing organization known as Interpol. The process begins once investigators confirm the names of the missing.
The biggest challenges to me is to get the reliable list of the missing person. Once we have this reliable list of the missing, we reach out to the families or the loved ones and do the family interviews. We want to have primary identifiers such as DNA samples of the missing, fingerprints, and dental records.
Investigators also look for secondary identifiers like scars, tattoos, and jewelry. Once the primary data is collected, the unidentified bodies are exhumed by forensic teams.
We try to get the same primary identifiers, secondary identifiers from the human remains. And this is done by specialized teams from the police. And once you have collected all those, we call it antemortem and postmortem data, we start a reconciliation process, which is kind of an investigation. We investigate possible matches from the AM and PM data.
The DVI investigation in Thailand that followed the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami took more than a year to complete. Thailand's death toll was just over 4,800, with 4,500 missing. The task ahead for Turkish forensic investigators appears to be enormous. In Turkey alone, around 13 million people lived in the affected areas, including at least 2 million Syrian refugees. Nearly 25,000 buildings have either collapsed or been badly damaged.
In other disasters like a plane crash, usually we deploy immediately after the crash because we have the list of the missing persons through the manifest and we can start working on them straight away. After the earthquake, it's different because, as you know, the conditions are really difficult. The roads are destroyed. There may be less water supply, and this is first of all now a rescue mission.
A third powerful earthquake on Monday has prompted renewed search and rescue operations. That effort now coincides with work to identify the dead, providing closure to family and friends, giving survivors the space to begin the process of grief and healing. Basil Rahan, TRT World.